golf club consistently at all, I'd really rather say to the club, I would like the ball to go maybe 120 yards. And then when I swing the club, it will detect what's going on and then correct the head of the club in real time to make my shot go closer to the desired distance. So I'm gonna show you how I made this, how it works, and of course put it to the test. I'll also be challenging my wife to a chipping competition.
So is this another prank?
It's a golf club, how could it possibly be a prank? This project totally kicked my engineering butt. It took 2 major hardware iterations to get it right. The first club that I built was actually hydraulic, which sounds totally awesome, but also doesn't work for reasons that I'll get into. So in this design, I focused on adjusting the loft angle of the club, which is the angle of the face striking the ball. So what I'm doing is I'm sensing where the club is going as well as the speed and adjusting the loft angle so that the ball goes basically the right distance. I also made this, I guess, apparatus you'd call it. It goes on to the upper shaft of the golf club near the grip and allows me to rotate the entire face of the club. This should allow me to correct for slice and hook. I do plan to integrate this in a club. I'll probably make a future video about that. Although in the meantime, I'm really interested in the idea of human-robot augmentation, not just for being sports. I think the next frontier for me is music. I want to see if I can make myself good at violin and take the fun out of that as well. So if that sounds interesting, you should subscribe. Also, if you have any other good ideas about human-robot augmentation, leave a comment. I'd love to hear about them, and maybe I'll build them. Getting the face of the club to move to a different angle, at least in principle, is not very hard. Certainly nowhere near as difficult as the backboard that I built in my previous project. It's small and light, and the distance that I have to go is not very far. But it turns out it's very hard to do, and that's because of golf. When the ball strikes the face of the club, it is insanely violent. It's like Walmart at 5 a.m. on Black Friday. They only have 3 flat screen TVs, but they're $25. It's bad. It can generate up to 4,000 pounds of force. As a point of reference, my milling machine is 2,000 pounds. It's crazy. So this is a little hobby servo. It's used for RC planes and cars and stuff like that. This little arm moves left and right, and they're very handy. I could attach this to the face of the golf club and move it around to get it to go where I want. Problem is, imagine I then take a hammer and I smash this arm. It's gonna destroy this. So my first attempt to deal with these giant forces was building a hydraulic golf club, which isn't as insane as it sounds, maybe a little bit. I needed a way to move the face angle of the club quickly, and also in a way that's very stiff and can take a beating. I designed and made 2 little hydraulic pumps that can pump fluid through these hoses. This is obviously not yet miniaturized for the golf club. I'd probably be wearing this on my back. The hydraulic fluid goes through these tubes and actuates 2 little hydraulic cylinders that I built into the club. So unfortunately, this club has a pretty fatal flaw, which is that it breaks apart every time you use it. When I originally designed this system, I was planning on using proper hydraulic line. So when I ran the numbers, I saw that I was...
Yeah.
would basically need 2 of these engines to force the fluid through the hoses fast enough. Imagine trying to suck a 55-gallon milkshake through a straw in 10 seconds. You'd have to be able to suck pretty darn hard in order for that to happen. But if you make the straw bigger, it becomes easier to do that. So to make the system work, I bumped the size of the hoses up. And this is where I committed a terrible sin that totally perverted the design. But I knew what I was doing. I honestly even liked it. These hoses are stretchy. They're very stretchy. If you pressurize them, they get longer. And that's a problem for a hydraulic system where I'm generating high pressures and I need it to not move. When I swing the club and hit a ball, I don't feel the impact of that ball with the club until the ball has already left the club and is flying away. And this is due to the speed of sound. When I strike a golf ball with a golf club, it generates a pressure wave in the material, which as far as physics are concerned, is basically sound. It goes at the speed of sound up the golf club. In 500 microseconds, the sound will go to maybe about here. And this is what I was hoping would make my hydraulic system work even though the hoses were stretchy. The shock wave from hitting the ball with this club would generate pressure in the fluid, which would also go at the speed of sound. And it should only go not too far up the hose before the ball is gone. There's only this much hose that can stretch out. And I was hoping that that would mean the face would move a minimal amount and that it would be acceptable. The problem, as far as I can tell, is that that wave does propagate up the hoses. The system is very springy, so all that energy goes up and then it shoots right back down and launches the face of the club off. To try to deal with this, I did get some proper hydraulic hose with the right inside diameter, but this is just way too heavy. I can't put this on a golf club. I decided just to scrap this, which hurt me to do. It was very sad. I really like this club a lot. It's very cool looking. It just isn't good enough. All right, I think I have a conceptual way for how to make an actuator that can survive the forces of golfing without immediately breaking, but I am having a heck of a time trying to fit it into a club. This is probably iteration 5 or 6 of this design, and this one almost kind of works, but it still has some pretty fatal flaws, I think. I just keep chugging. I think I'm close. Okay, so here's what I came up with. I'm using a servo, a really fast one, to actuate the face of the golf club. And I know I said before that servo motors can't work, but this one works because I'm doing a very sneaky trick. I'm rotating the face of the golf club by moving this rotational cam here. Geometry is such that it does not matter how hard I hit the face of this golf club with the golf ball, zero force is going to be transferred to the servo. And let me explain why. This red triangle represents the cam that's moved left and right by the servo. This blue represents the matching cam that's rotated when this moves in and out. So if this red cam slides out, the blue cam slides down, and vice versa. This is how it converts linear motion into rotational motion. The reason that my arrangement works is that this angle is very shallow. I can push on the top of this green wedge with any amount of force and it will not be able to push this wedge out. Basically what happens is as this angle gets shallow, the contact forces between the two surfaces increases, which increases the friction. Also, when I push down on the top of this wedge, a portion of the force is going sideways trying to eject this wedge from underneath of it. There's an angle, the force to eject the wedge is less than the frictional force, and it does not matter how much force I put on the top, it will not eject. A neat little parallel is this is why screws don't unscrew. If you think about it, a screw is just a wedge that's wrapped around a shaft. If the thread is shallow enough, it doesn't matter how hard I push or pull on the screw, it won't unthread. So the other cool thing about this design is that it was fully qualified using almost entirely 3D printed parts. I did this because I didn't want to spend a bunch of time machining a lot of parts that don't work at all. So in fact, I normally wouldn't even have attempted this, but I'm using a very special material called Durable. It's designed for high impact and high wear applications, which is great for a golf club. I did eventually break it, so it is cracked here. And that happened when I plowed the golf club into the ground at what felt like Mach 1, but we'll never know the speed. For years, I ran the engineering teams that developed these printers, and I hated this material because it is really difficult to get it printing reliably. And so I just had a blind hatred for it, but now that I'm using it, it's quite good. So after qualifying the parts with printed parts, I went back and machined these. Although I can use the club with the printed parts, they do flex a good bit more than metal does, and that absorbs a lot of energy from the swing. Like you can actually feel a pretty big difference. I'm still using 3D printed add-ons for the stuff that doesn't have to be metal, and that way I don't have to machine it. The cam parts are still printed, and that's basically because they would be a real nightmare to machine. And with my setup, there's nothing really inherently bulky about this design, which is pretty cool. If I made these out of, say, steel, this whole mechanism could be way smaller than it is here. The same thing is true for this servo. There's no reason it needs to be this big, and all the wires could be run up the shaft. All the electronics could be on one small PCB, kind of in the top of the handle with a small battery. So I finally have mechanics that I think can work. I just have to get the software and the electronics working. So I was just working on bringing up the electronics for this, and you're not going to believe what I just did. All right, pins just straighten up a little bit. Thank goodness I'm a mature adult who can handle this in a very mature way. I promise that's exactly how it went down. So this board is the IMU. It's what I'll be using to figure out where the club is in space and how fast it's going and all that stuff. I just ripped off these castellations, which are what I was going to be using to get data off this board. And this board is very expensive. About $350, so I'm not going to be buying another one. There's USB on this as well. Theoretically, I should be able to talk to this over USB and get the data off that way. Unfortunately, I suck at USB. Like I said, I'm not buying another one, so I guess I'm writing a USB driver. Oh man, it's like 5 a.m. on Sunday morning. I've been banging my head against this stupid USB thing for like 10 hours now, and I should have just bought another IMU. This is a mistake. The reason that it has been working is because I had a 1 instead of a 4. Anyway, it works now, and I'm going to sleep. All right, I got some sleep. Let's talk about the software. What the software needs to do is determine the speed that the club head is going to be going when it impacts the ball, as well as the angle of the club shaft relative to the ground. It's not a good assumption that the club shaft is vertical. I need to know the angle of the club shaft so that the club face is the right angle relative to the world and the ground and gravity so that the ball will go in the right direction. If you look at a club swing, the club starts at a standstill, it accelerates throughout the stroke, and it will sometimes even drop speed before it hits the ball. When I start the swing, the club isn't going very fast. As I accelerate it,
Hola.
Hey, what's up, Azalka? How you going?
The speed gets faster and faster. The reason this is tricky is that I need to rotate the face of the club to whatever angle it needs to go before it strikes the ball. And the speed is changing all the time. So what I'm trying to do is predict the speed that the face of the club will be going relative to the ball earlier. So what I did is I just kind of brute forced this problem. I collected a ton of data of me swinging. Each swing gives me a curve of the velocity I'm going versus the angle of the club. So this might be the start of the stroke up here, and then this is the velocity that's going when it strikes the ball. Swings that start shallower, like a chip, might look like this. Because the club is starting at a lower angle, I'm at zero velocity here. You can imagine collecting lots of these, and there's noise. So what I do is I take all these curves and I compute the average swing trajectory for each starting position. This one might correspond to this position, and so on. Then when the club senses me swinging, I look up the closest curve. So let's imagine that I'm taking a swing and I've matched to this swing profile. The tricky thing is that depending on if I'm swinging the club harder or softer, I might get a profile like this, or I might get a profile like this. I also might get something totally different, in which case this method breaks down. I have some ideas for how I would deal with that, but I was trying to keep it simpler. So imagine I start taking a swing and it's going to follow this trajectory. As the data starts to come in from the IMU, I see what my velocity profile looks like. I then take the ideal velocity curve and I scale it so that it matches this one. It doesn't perfectly predict the result because they're different trajectories, although the shapes do seem to be relatively consistent. And then I look forward to the end and assume that's the speed that I'm going to be going. This seems to work reasonably for my testing. It's tuned to me, obviously. If I was trying to make this a product, I wouldn't use this method, but it was a quick way to get it done. So the other problem that I mentioned is I don't know what angle the club is going to be when it strikes the ball. Which of these is it going to be? This has a very big impact on where the ball goes. This problem is a tricky one, and I actually thought of a few very complicated schemes to try to predict what the angle would be. So I just decided to sidestep the whole problem by assuming that the swing starts at the ball. So I just assume that if the club is like this when the swing starts, and then the swing comes up and then comes back down, it's gonna hit at the same angle. That's not a totally safe assumption. It seems okay for now. That's pretty much all the interesting things about this club. I did pack all the electronics into this way too small enclosure. So this thing has two main operating modes. There's distance select, where I enter the distance that I would like the ball to go. And whenever it's in this mode, it's continuously listening to the IMU and it's looking for a swing. It will start adjusting the face of the club to wherever it thinks it needs to be so the ball will go the correct distance. And the other mode is basically this acting like a normal club. So I have the ability to select whatever club I want with this. I think the notable thing here is it does go up to 11. I mean, it has to, right? I guess that would be a sand wedge. Even just this mode here is pretty cool. The fact that I have a single club that's all the clubs is neat, but I think the robotic aspect is cooler. That's pretty much it. I think all that's left is to put this thing through its paces. I've challenged my wife to a friendly chipping challenge, and what we're gonna do is take 3 shots each and see who can place them most consistently downrange. Short distance, so no strength advantage or anything like that. And we're gonna see, with the help of this, if it levels the playing field.
So is this another prank?
It's a golf club, how could it possibly be a prank?
This club stinks.
Maybe you stink. I just played 18 holes of a par 3 with this club. It survived, and I have the results. With this club, I shot an 85, which still isn't great, and with the regular clubs, I shot a 94. And that sounds like a meaningful difference, but I'm not sure that all that had to do with this club, at least not directly. When I'm using this club, I feel like a better golfer, and I was just hitting the ball better with it. To really know, I need to collect more data. So I think what I need to do is shoot like 500 balls with and without this club and then measure the distribution. But I'd really like to get the slice and hook correction in before I do that, because I only want to do that once. Hopefully we'll get back to it and have a super duper club in the near future. If you like this, you should subscribe. I build stuff like this all the time. It's a lot of fun. And that is all I have for now. Thanks.
Hello, everybody. My name is Markiplier. Welcome back to Five Nights at Freddy's Fazbear Nights. I am finally back from an extended vacation In the world of Purgatory, where I have not been able to do absolutely anything for a very long time except work on the things that you already know about, which I'm not going to get into too many details about, but I will talk about a little bit. But if you're watching this from the future, hi, well, hello everybody. Hi, welcome. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Come on in. Hello. Hi. We're going to be...
We beat Emerald Kaizo! This guy might be the best Pokemon Nuzlocker of all time, and then there's me.
Quick claw and then have the flint.
What did I say, Brayden? What did I say? Sure, I've spent years improving as a Nuzlocker, from throwing to Sabrina to conquering Emerald Rogue on my first try, which did not even impress him. So to showcase my growth, we set out to attempt a Pokemon Scarlet and Violet Soul Link. Essentially, this is a hardcore Nuzlocke, but with 2 players. You'd probably expect this to be Jan just carrying me, right? Surprisingly, no. Well, yeah, I happened to throw away the first run, so let's just talk about the second one. Since these games don't have traditional routes, we used Terra Raids for encounters and only allowed 1 Terra type across both teams. So after running around a bit in single-digit frame rates, we were already starting to form 2 pretty solid teams. Especially this Ground Terra Eevee on my side, but more on that later. And if you're curious about my brand new stream layout, well, dress for the job you want, right? Even if it involves a misdemeanor for petty theft. Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are really just boss rushes, and the first gym was a cakewalk for our precious little Fuecoco as he blazed through Katie's entire party. I mean, it makes sense, because this is literally the first gym that should never be a challenge to anyone, yet here Jan is struggling so bad that he had to pull out the damage calculator and everything. Yet, despite running the math, he still had to sacrifice a Pokemon to beat, again, the first gym leader. Well, at least one of us are pulling our weight. Though when it came around to the grass gym, my plan has not changed. Fuecoco will burn this entire city to the ground. But unfortunately, Jan's using Sprigatito, so he's gonna run the calc for this one yet again. Luckily, his shelter has Ice Shard and plans to just sweep with that. So while he's busy planning out the optimal team, I was out here trusting some kind of blind faith.
Alright, now just press the same button 3 times and see what happens. Alright, Petalil doesn't matter anymore. That thing has been exterminated. Smoliv dies. Alright, let's see how the Sudowoodo goes.
So, yeah, things got a little scary against Sudowoodo as I had to press the button an entire 4th time, but the hard carry carries on. Now that the level cap went up, we got to start exploring some stronger raids for some even stronger encounters.
First Time Chatter asks, who is the sexiest Pokemon in your opinion?
That's such a good first time chat.
So, what's your answer?
Lilligans.
Well, there you have it, folks. The sexiest Pokemon, according to Jan.
Are you gonna answer as well, or are you gonna just...
No, I don't find Pokemon attractive. I wouldn't answer that question.
No, makes sense. I also don't think Pokemon are attractive.
So, anyways, this video is brought to you by Aerup, a completely new and unique hydration experience. Do you personally have trouble drinking boring normal water? Well, Aerup solves that problem by harnessing the power of scent-based taste. Aerup bottles use scented pods that, when activated by the bottle's straw, transport water and air through the pod and into your mouth. And that's where the science behind Aerup's scent-based taste kicks in. It's essentially smelling with your mouth. I know it sounds weird, but it isn't. Aerup can give flavored hydration without sugars or sweeteners while keeping all of the flavor. These pods come in a wide variety of flavors like peach, wildberry, and even the strawberry lemongrass in the US and strawberry balsamic in Europe. Even though I filled this bottle with just plain old water, I got to experience my favorite of all their tastes, which is cherry. And it helps me stay hydrated while I'm on my computer for, an unreasonable amount of hours at a time. And if you want to get really fancy with it, you can even use sparkling water. I have the steel bottle, which can keep water cold for up to 14 hours, and it's made out of high quality stainless steel. Right now it only comes in black and silver steel, but if you want to personalize your Aerup, you can get the Triton bottle that is available in many more colors. Also, no need to tip the bottle, just activate the pod by pulling it gently and drinking normally through the straw for the flavored water. To get your own Aerup, use the link in my description and use code ALPHA to get 10% off your entire order as well. But after all of that, it was time for Iono, whose Belly Bolt might have somehow ruined our first attempt. Back then, I didn't have a single ground type and just folded to her Electric Assault, but once again, it was time to carry because of a perfectly molded ground type Vaporeon. Obviously, this water-type Pokemon would suddenly be great against electricity, but my plan was even more brilliant than that. Normally, terrestrializing into a ground type would still leave me weak to moves like Water Gun, but this Vaporeon had Water Absorb, thus making it a complete and impenetrable wall. So to see this plan through, I used Crocalor to take down her Wattrel, bait in the Belly Bolt, switch Vaporeon into Water Gun, and set up multiple invincible Calm Minds, and I just swept from there. Yon didn't really have anything nearly as cool and awesome and badass and cool as I did for this battle, but he just decided to use top-level Instinct and abuse Steel Terra Cloyster and Assault Vest Florigato. Which, sure, I guess it gets the job done. I mean, one of us definitely struggled more than the other, and it really makes you think who the probably best Nuzlocker in the world is. I mean, after all, only one of us has been crowned as the Nuzlocke King. At least we both got our 3rd gym badge and a few encounters to round out the teams. And in doing that, we accidentally caught a lot of Pokemon that were great for Kofu's Water Gym. But before we started the battle, I just wanted to take a look around and soak up the scenery. Oh my god, what the fuck is happening? Oh, it's still going, huh? It's not done? Oh my god, it's only getting worse. Why? What is happening?
Did my game just crashed?
So, anyways, I taught Raps to get Sunny Day and got Fixed onto the party for the first time of the run. It might look a little silly for me to bring my Fire Starter to this fight, but these are the kinds of things you have to do in a Soul Link to drag your partner across the finish line, because he definitely needs his Florigato. From Water Absorb Vaporeon to Terra Water Silicobra to just a Cacnea. I had a lot of options here, but instead, I opened with Scovillain. It may be neutral against water, but this is exactly what I needed to get set up in this fight. Kofu led with Veluza, so good thing we walled the Psychic moves out with a Dark Terrestrialization, which allowed us to set up a Sunny Day for free. In other words, it's time to abuse the Chlorophyll ability and just mash the Solar Beam button until the fight is over. These battles have been a breeze on my side so far, so how about Yon's?
I did just get crit, unfortunately. Well, I guess I'd kill this and then you train the Wugtrio. Am I gonna be faster than Wugtrio?
Ah, boring. Whatever. He beat Kofu, we got the 4th gym badge, and then it was time for the main event. That's right, it's time for Larry. Luckily, the level cap is now high enough to evolve nearly all of our Pokemon, and especially perfect timing for Skeledirge to become part Ghost, as my new plan for this gym was to really just click Torch Song and hope for the best. Ah, Paralysis. Whoops, no problem. I'll just switch to Cacturne, get some chip damage with Spiky Shield, and hey, look, Hyper Drill goes through Protect. Oh, isn't that a funny surprise?
You're not dead, I don't think, unless it has terrible defense.
And then you're right. And then my Terra type is Dark, which doesn't matter.
And then I think he won't Glare this turn. Alright?
Yeah. Okay, well, I'm still faster than him. Alright, we got Solar Beam out. I just have to not get paralyzed here. Alright, was paralyzed. Low damage roll? It was a crit. Alright, the Dunsparce is dead.
I think you're just bulldozing in and sack.
Yeah, but I don't want to sack your Gyarados.
Yeah, I think we have to get rid of Magic Background.
Unfortunate. I could go Steel, Terra, Yawn, and swap into Skeledirge.
Oh, you're faster.
I'm faster and I didn't die. Oh, we hit.
I need one more. Oh, 2 in a row. We got it. GG. We're out.
But we're somehow not out of the woods yet, as Larry's fight was followed immediately by another Nemona battle. I was very careful to make sure I saved the Vaporeon in the Larry fight, because I knew it crushes nearly everything on her team. I found myself in a bit of a scary situation at the end, not because I was fearful of wiping, no, God no, but because I had to do the slightest amount of mental math to escape the clutches of Nemona. But... after evolving my Cupchew, before we could even start heading towards the next gym, my game had other plans.
My Switch, wait 1 second. My game just crashed.
Let's hope it saved.
I'm gonna assume it didn't. I think I had to do it all over again. Yeah, while you do that, I'm gonna redo all of this.
Watch the Evo just crash your fucking game again.
Don't evolve Cubchoo when you're playing online. Worst thing I've ever done. I have to learn Ice Crash. Okay, I don't think I got this far last time. No way. No way!
No shot.
There is a glitch in the game that you cannot evolve Cubchoo. I'm convinced. I'm gonna try something new here. I'm gonna do both fights again. I'm just gonna not learn Icicle Crash.
I would just box Cupchew, bro.
This is like a situation where I'd like to apologize for, but what could I have done different?
You should have just saved, bro. Why didn't you just save?
I'm backing out, backing out, backing out. Saying no, saying no. Now try to evolve it. I'm scared. That shit's cursed. Wait, why do I have 0 raids on my map? What's wrong with this game? Okay, we're gonna try and evolve him just to see what happens here. All right, we put him in the Pokédex for the very first time. Would you like to learn Icicle Crash? No thanks. I can't evolve him. I can't evolve him. Will you evolve him and then just send him back? I hope it doesn't crash. Oh, I don't think I got this far.
Huge. Okay, it worked. It worked. I'm saving.
What a game, man. Maybe it was that... Wait. It crashed. Okay, I have him now. I do have him. Okay. Oh, he's not in my Pokédex. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? This is just wrong.
Wait, why is that? What the fuck? Bro, your shit is fucked.
Pokemon.
It crashed.
He's 2 different Pokemon now. So I guess as long as I just don't open the Pokédex, we should be fine.
You should be okay.
It seems like the game is now permanently broken, and I'm just gonna have to play around that one. So let's just pretend that none of this ever happened and catch some new Pokemon on the way from escaping Purgatory. So after a long series of unfortunate events, it was time to battle Ryan.
The other guy's voice sounds devoid of life. Sorry, I'm not projecting my voice and not using my outside voice. So. All right, buddy Jacob, are you ready to do the gym trainers?
Yeah, we can do that.
All right, awesome. Let's go. I'm gonna start.
I think I'm probably going to use Vaporeon. I'm going to use Protect so I can block the Drifblim. And, I mean, Skeletor is just broken, so I'd be an idiot not to do that. So I think you just take the Choice Scarf to spam Torch Song.
Sounds like an awesome plan, yeah. I think I got something cool, too, on my team.
All right. Fair enough.
Normally I'd be a little worried about bringing a Ghost-type Pokemon into a Ghost-type gym, but the ability to terrestrialize and abuse moves like Torch Song made this decision a no-brainer. Every single time you use this move, it boosts your special attack by 1, and I spammed it a lot. So when I attempted to take down her ace with a boosted Torch Song, something went wrong.
I assumed I was faster, but I didn't want to, like... That has to be like a +4 Torch Song and it didn't kill. Genuinely, how did that not kill? Oh my god, he paralyzed his own Houndstone.
Nice.
Oh, I got paralyzed too.
Damn, you're kind of fucking in trouble.
Yeah, if this Torch Song doesn't hit, I'm swapping out. Oh, Hex. Oh, I did not think about that. Don't let me lose my starter here.
I think you're dead, bro.
I didn't think about... Okay, that's a lose condition for the Elite Four now.
As the old saying goes, if your starter isn't safe, nobody is. As we all know, Toxtricity's signature ability is Punk Rock, which boosts sound-based moves. But what I didn't know, and not even Mr. Pokemon Nuzlocke over there knew, was that this ability also resists sound-based moves. Yeah, you know, moves like, I don't know, Torch Song? Well, I'll probably lose sleep over that one, but at least Yon can start using his Terrifier Zoroark just in time for Tula. For the first time all run, I am struggling with team building thanks to that insane set of events that cost me my Skeletor, but hey, no time to worry about the past now. Let's just catch every Pokemon we can and assemble as perfect of a team as we can to rival Tula. Well, Yon doesn't really have to, I guess. I mean, he has Zoroark now, he's fine. And after some complicated theory crafting, we went in with some rather unconventional picks. Low kicks will obviously be great here as a bug and dark type, but other than that, I don't really have anything that can damage psychic types. So funny enough, the key to this fight for me is actually going to be that stupid ass bear that kept crashing my game. Since he's done being a computer virus, I was able to switch him in, take a KO with this badass looking Steel Terra Blast, and that was enough to allow Low Kicks to kill with first impression before his Spathra went speed boost stupid. Wait, does she have speed boost? No. Nah, okay. Then Low Kicks proved why it's an insanely slept on Pokemon and finished the battle before I even had time to think about how stupid I was for losing Skeledirge. Okay. With 7 badges in hand, it was time to collect our final one from Grusha. We captured some of our last encounters in the run, and Yon was feeling confident with this Fire Zangoose he just picked up. Honestly, at this point, he should be thanking me for losing Skeledirge. I mean, is it too late to lie and say it was intentional?
Show me the Omni Boost. That's all I want to see here. Yeah, this plane is not going nearly as well. I probably should have just done rollout. Okay, I got the Omni Boost now. Oh, I gotta stay in.
You gonna waste a perfectly good Omni Boost? Okay, sick. Yeah, it turns out Ice type Pokemon, they got a big buff this gen, they still fucking suck. What the fuck?
I think the biggest buff of Ice-type Pokemon is that they no longer have to be Ice-type Pokemon.
Yeah, true. No, unironically.
And now it's time for the most difficult theory crafting portion of the run, the calm before the storm. Preparing for the Elite Four. After entering, we will not be able to change either team at all for the final 5 fights, and given these diverse teams they're throwing at us, it would essentially be impossible to find something that could cover everything for both players. So before we search for our final encounters, Yon and I had to grind up our team in a Chansey-themed genocide.
Oh wait, I just found a shiny Chansey.
Oh shit. Hell yeah.
How does the shiny claws work in this? I guess you have to find a shiny to pair it.
True. Yeah. No, yeah. Catch it, and next shiny I find is paired with it.
Do I have one quick ball. I'm gonna try the quick ball.
Oh, it just disappeared.
Hey, are you gonna farm Chanseys?
Mm-hmm.
You wanna try and make a sandwich together?
Let's do it. Hold on.
Alright, let's make a ham sandwich together. Oh, what if our hands touched on the pickles in Pokemon?
Oh no. Oh, whoops, sorry. Were you going for those
no.
pickles? Oh, sorry. I didn't even know. Oh, sorry.
Oh, oops. Oh, I'll put a piece of ham over
Oh,
here.
we're making like a combined sandwich of the two.
Oh, we got so much ham. So much meat between these two boys.
It's crazy, yeah.
Would you mind if I put my pickle near yours?
Oh, no, absolutely not. Go for it, for sure. It's completely fine.
Now time for the bread. Beautiful.
Okay, are we even going to get the correct boost from this?
So eventually we found our final encounters and tried our best to build the absolute strongest combined team possible. And then entered the Elite Four. When it came to Yon's first battle against Rika, he forgot about Camerupt using Yon, but then got extremely lucky with Sleep Powder, and both Pokemon went to Snooze City. Thrilling. So he just let his Lilligant sweep everything as Yon got completely carried by a combination of Quiver Dance and Giga Drain. So when it was my turn to put on the shades, Coach Gruel did too. I swept with a similar strategy to Yon, as mashing Giga Drain on Rika's helpless ground types usually warrants a win, but I made a huge play with Protect and a healing with Leftovers that Yon initially deemed a waste of time, but little did he know that I healed exactly enough to survive a huge Earthquake from Rika's ace, so... Who knows how to play around the crit range now, huh? Then, before I even realized I was done with the battle, Yon was already challenging Poppy and stormed through her with an unusual Poison-type Hariyama. There's really nothing for me to comment on this fight since it was pulled off so surgically, but Poppy was terrifying for me. The first part, however, was easy. Terra Steel Baratic for the resistance and use Superpower to take out Kaparaha in one hit. Then Low Kicks continued to pull his tiny little weight by 2-hit KOing the alleged tank of Bronzong. But it was Poppy's Corviknight that always looked like a problem to me. So now it's time to pivot like the true Nuzlocke king I am.
Okay, so now Corviknight comes in. And now we want to go back to...
Yep.
Gotcha.
You got it.
Because here, it definitely Brave Birds me.
He's starting to believe, chat. Look at him go. The pivots. He sees the Matrix.
I got the camera up in front of the Corviknight and fell the Steel Feather Demon. Both of the ground immunities are gone, which means Toadstool can finally ball. 2 down, 3 to go, and Larry's team is imminently scary. Luckily, Jan had a plan to tear through his entire team with just one Venomoth. This thing had Quiver Dance, tons of potential offense, and some Black Sludge to heal. But then, Jan's Quiver Dances came to an abrupt halt by him forgetting that terrestrializing a poison type into a non-poison type makes Black Sludge hurt you rather than heal you. All of a sudden, the greatest Pokemon Nuzlocker in the world is at risk of wiping to Larry's Flamigo. And then Jan almost used Quiver Dance against Oricorio, whose ability would allow them to also use Quiver Dance.
Holy shit, I did not know that.
It's just a passive ability. It's honestly a little insane.
Okay, that's fucking crazy.
Okay, we're fucked then.
I knew one of us was going to be doing the heavy lifting this run, but if I can be honest, I did not expect it to be me. So given this rough situation, Jan had to sacrifice his Greedent, thus killing my heroic Toadstool, and got a chance for his Zangoose to miraculously win a speed tie. But even that wasn't enough, and now another pair of Pokemon met an unfortunate fate. This whole time, we knew that cursed Venomoth was one Black Sludge turn away from dying, but Jan remembered. If he got the KO first, the Black Sludge turn wouldn't happen. So realizing that his Zangoose died for an entirely unnecessary death, Venomoth finished the fight and saved both of our runs. Thankfully, when it was my turn to fight Larry, I already knew of 2 Pokemon that could be sacrificed, and had tons of well thought out switches, attacks, and strategy to clean up this fight shockingly smooth. But before we fought the final Elite Four member, Jan removed Black Sludge off Venomoth and attempted to Quiver Dance yet again before removing Hassle's entire team from existence. Then when my team was up to challenge him, we did the exact same thing. Used normal Terra to tank a hit, and then just utilized the Dragon Dance spamming Dragapult. And then we were nearly done. So with 2 runs worth of blood on our hands, it was time to challenge the champion with only 4 Pokemon left each. So you could say, maybe it's about time for Jan to start pulling his weight. Oh, and boy did he. Gita's lead Espathra was designed to stop setup sweepers like Lilligant, thanks to the Opportunist ability that mimics stat buffs. But Jan taught his Lilligant a little-known move called Entrainment, overriding Espathra's Opportunist with Lilligant's useless Chlorophyll ability, which then allowed him to Quiver Dance till his heart's content, right before pressing the same button again, and again, and again, and again, and yep, that was it. That was the champion fight. That's somehow what Jan's entire journey came down to, but now it's my turn. Jan's run may be over, but it is not a successful run until I cross the finish line too.
Kill. Perfect. Love to see it.
Nice.
This is where a coward would use low kick. But this
I agree.
is where we use axe kick. And it hits. I was scared for nothing. I'm just saying, if I didn't put on the cat ears, I don't know if that would have happened. Ooh, and now they're sending out Go-Go. They're going in a very unfortunate order here. Yeah, it sees the play rough, but let's just see what this Leech Life does. Oh, it just kills.
It just does not see how rough that play is.
Yeah, and we're gonna see how Leech this life can get. Oh, this thing's fast. Really? Oh my god, the low kick's sweet. I can let low kicks die. All right, I missed and crashed and died. He's gonna go Dragapult. Yeah, I knew it was bad. I just didn't realize it was that bad. Wait, I just realized Dragon Darts probably put down like 2 Toxic Spikes, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, I just have to hit Surf with Vaporeon once and we're good. Yeah, sure. Don't die now. And would you look at that? Yeah. I don't know what could have possibly happened, but that's a GG's. We did it.
And just like that, we completed a hardcore Nuzlocke Soul Link while I played some of the best Pokemon of my entire life. And now, I know what you might be asking. Have I finally earned your respect?
Today we're 100% speedrunning Marvel's Spider-Man. This includes 44 main missions, 16 side missions, 55 backpacks, 47 landmarks, 19 hideouts, 17 research stations, 11 Black Cat stakeouts, 12 pigeons, 16 Taskmaster challenges, and 165 crimes. And we get a little cutscene showing Pete's apartment. Well, finally, after like 2 minutes, we're actually gonna get to play as Spider-Man. First time we get to web swing, which is honestly one of the best parts of this game. Basically, only important things, we want to use our point launches a good amount to get some more momentum, and just pretty much always keep our momentum going to make sure we're going as fast as possible. So we decided to go help our police friend Yuri, and there's also our work calling us. No one cares
Grumpling
about
underscore 1337. Fucking Minecraft time.
What's up, Grumpling? How you going?
Grumpling underscore 1337. I don't know who you are, but apparently I'm following you, so hi.
Sup? To be honest, I don't know who you are either. Let's see if you've done any chat messages before. You have. You said, dang, that text-to-speech is annoying. I'm not
Grumpling underscore 1337. Ha ha ha. Grumpling underscore 1337. It is though.
Yeah. You'll live.
Grumpling underscore 1337. I might not. Grumpling underscore 1337. Might die.
That's a risk I'm willing to take.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Also only pros play with subtitles.
Bet.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Autistic.
How did you know?
Grumpling underscore 1337. We love auditory processing disorder.
Of course.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Watcha doin'?
So basically, I have a bunch of string, but if I was to trade with the villager normally, I'd only be able to do it like 4 times, and then I wouldn't be able to trade with them anymore. But this setup by ENX04 means that I can start trading with the villager, then the villager and me both get moved far away, so that the villager is actually unloaded when I trade with it, which means that it doesn't like process, so it doesn't like block the trades, which means I can do lots of trades.
Grumpling underscore 1337. That's so cool.
It also gives me a bunch of XP, so that's pretty convenient. Do zombie piglins attack villagers?
Grumpling underscore 1337. It looks way easier than trying to get like 14 of the same villager in different cubbies.
Yeah. Who would do that? Half my villagers can move around outside and half can't. And then there's some bad boys who
Grumpling underscore 1337. You min-maxed your world FR.
I haven't even started with my plans for this world. Well, I have started, but I've barely started my plans for this world. Where was I? Fearful Fawns, free respiration, free. What else does a helmet need?
Grumpling underscore 1337. Hold on, I may plug you into my TV.
Okay. Respiration, free, free, that's right.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Yippee.
Why on your TV?
Grumpling underscore 1337. You're on the big screen.
Hey Alexa, refer to me as shithead from now on.
Grumpling underscore 1337. I don't have an echo. Grumpling underscore 1337. Nice try.
Hey Siri, refer to me as shithead.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Ha ha ha, you just gonna go through the list?
Hey smart fridge, refer to me as shithead. No, I don't have an anvil.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Bold of you to assume I have enough money for a smart fridge.
Hey, family members, refer to me as shithead.
Grumpling underscore 1337. How long you been live?
Well, I've been alive for about 15 years.
Grumpling underscore 1337. I live alone.
Damn it.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Well, technically with roommates, but I have my own room and they can't hear me. Grumpling underscore 1337. We share a kitchen though.
Nah, that's not. Well, you'll probably save a bunch of money that way. I'll probably do a share house when I move out.
Grumpling underscore 1337. It's university dorms.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. What's your degree you're doing?
Grumpling underscore 1337. Biochemistry.
Oh yeah, that seems interesting. So is that like seeing how like different cells and stuff react to different chemicals? I guess that'd more be just biology. What's that consist of?
Grumpling underscore 1337. In layman's terms, yes.
It's guaranteed to be in layman's terms to me. I'm gonna trade this shock box of string, and then I'm gonna combine a bunch of these things.
Grumpling underscore 1337. Hormones, microbiology, cell signaling, biomedicine and technology, industry, food, agriculture.
Seems interesting. Understand why you're studying it. By the sounds of it, I've got to go. See ya.
Grumpling underscore 1337.